うぜえマジで。
What's popping my pimples? Welcome back to Wallace and Probit. VTubers, and by extension, VTubing, is an industry I followed quite closely throughout its nearly 10 years of existence. In fact, a lot of you first came across my channel when I was a VTuber, and throughout my time in this scene, if there's been one presence that's shown up time and time again, it's been the blue hedgehog himself. From Sega's adoption of the medium for their YouTube channel to collaborating with the scene's biggest agencies and creators, Sonic has become pretty intertwined with VTubing as a whole, and I'd like to talk about that in this video here. But before I do, in case you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more Sonic content like this. So, a little history lesson, because it's necessary for understanding these Sonic crossovers to begin with. VTubers are content creators who use virtual avatars with real-time motion capture to track their movements and facial expressions. Nowadays, most VTubers use the same technology as those 3D emojis on the iPhone, but at the start, it was a very expensive field to get into. Case in point, the godmother of VTubing turned Fortnite skin, Kazuna AI, who had an entire production studio behind her in 2016. But fast forward to 2020 and the technology became way more affordable, and thus the VTubing scene exploded. Around this time, you had a few VTuber agencies who approached this form of content creation like idol groups. They would often debut 5 to 6 VTubers at a time and group them together as one generation. Each VTuber would play a character as they streamed on YouTube or Twitch. One of these agencies would be the likes of Hololive. Now, when it comes to copyright law in Japan, it is totally different than it is in North America. If you're going to stream yourself playing a game as a company, you need to get permission from the publisher. And when it came to companies approving Hololive to play their games, Sega was one of the first to do so. This was Sega's first point of connection with Hololive and VTubing as a whole, or at least that we know of. And it certainly wouldn't be the last. Enter Inugami Korone. Korone is this adorable dog girl who, at the time, was finding a lot of success in the West through translated clips around her streams. But in Japan, she was easily one of Hololive's most recognizable talents. In January of 2021, she would stream her first playthrough of a Sonic game, being Sonic 1, and on an original Genesis nonetheless. It was from there where she'd start playing through more and more of the series, becoming a massive fan along the way. This would get Sega's attention. We're gonna put a pin in that because in June of the same year, Sega of Japan would debut Sonic's very own VTuber model to celebrate the Hedgehog's 30th anniversary via this video on Twitter. Translated in English, it's basically, "Hey guys, it's me Sonic, I came here on Twitter. Isn't it rad? Thanks for the nice words. Subscribe to Wallace per hour." This model, alongside Sonic's voice actor, would start making appearances on Sega of Japan's live streams called Sonic Station Live. Wait a minute. Who's that in the corner? Korone! It was around this point in time, with the popularity of Hololive reaching an all-time high, that Korone would begin to make an appearance on these Sonic Station streams. And over here in the West, would make an appearance in this Sonic Ring series, made to celebrate Sonic's 30th birthday by interviewing different creators that are fans of the franchise. It was also around this point in time that Sega of America would begin a series known as TalesTube. Using those VTuber models from the Japanese side, the American social media team would create a web series of sorts hosted by Tails about all things Sonic. As time went on, more Sonic characters would get their very own VTuber models, including the likes of Knuckles, Amy, Shadow, Rouge, Jet, Tangle, Whisper, Cream, Orbot, and probably the oddest of them all, Professor Victoria from the Chaotix Case Files. As many of you watching are aware, this series is still going to this day and is what most folks are familiar with when it comes to Sonic's relationship with VTubing. But the relationship between VTubers only gets stronger from here. In 2022, Korone would become an official Sonic ambassador for the brand and create the Sonic Koro 2022 collab, a year-long collaboration between Korone and Sonic that included her appearance around multiple Sonic-related events, game live streams, as well as collaborations with Sega's sound team. Alongside this reveal, Korone would get an updated VTuber model that included her rocking blue hair and green eyes, a Sonic-themed outfit, and an accompanying Knuckles plush. It was also during this announcement where it would be revealed that Korone would provide additional voices in the Japanese dub of the second Sonic movie. Shortly afterwards, a Sonic Frontiers collab would be announced. At select Japanese retailers, fans could purchase exclusive Korone-themed DLC or merchandise. The DLC would include sound effects voiced by Korone herself, Sonic's gloves and shoes being switched out to match Korone's, alongside Korone's mascot character replacing the Go-Go. The merchandise available would be an acrylic panel featuring an illustration by Korone's original model artist, Fukuhire. This collaboration between Sonic and Korone was so successful that it was extended to both 2023 and 2024. With this extension came more exclusive merch, including standees, buttons, totes, and more artwork, including Korone in a Shadow-themed outfit made as a pre-order bonus for Sonic X Shadow Generations, as well as Tails and Knuckles outfits for a set of keychains. However, this collaboration between Sonic and Hololive wasn't just exclusive to Korone. As cool as this crossover is, the sad part of it all was that it was exclusive to the Japanese branch of Hololive. Since then, Hololive had debuted 4 generations of talent in their English branch, and at the end of 2024, they would get an entire collab of their own. It's a shame my favorite VTuber from Hololive English, Sarah's Fauna, had already left the company at this point. Otherwise, if she was a part of this collab, I would be stuck in a generation of debt from this crossover. Regardless, even though this is the English branch of Hololive, this crossover was exclusive to Taiwan and South Korea. Life ain't fair. This was a collaboration with the Animate Cafe that included merchandise and food themed after the characters and VTubers. The VTubers included Ninome Inanis with Sonic, Aurora Crony, my fellow Canadian, with Tails, Iris with Knuckles, Koseki Biju, aka Bibo, with Amy Rose, and Shiori Novella with Shadow. I gotta be honest, these are some weird pairings. I don't associate any of these VTubers with the Sonic characters they've been put together with, except maybe Shiori and Shadow, but I digress. The next notable VTuber crossover with Sonic doesn't actually come from Hololive at all. From the start of Sega working with Hololive in 2021 to 2025, the VTubing scene completely changed, especially in the West. Most of the agencies outside of Hololive fell into irrelevancy or just collapsed, allowing for the rise of indie VTubers to truly shine. One of these indies is Iron Mouse. I'm aware she was a part of an agency at this point, but she's since gone independent again. Iron Mouse is to VTubing in the West as Sonic is to his franchise. They're the main characters. During Anime Expo in 2025, Mouse would hold a meet and greet at Sega's booth. Each day of the event, she would cosplay as a different Sega character, including Rise from Persona 4, the best Persona game, Hatsune Miku, cause you know, the rhythm games, and most importantly for this video, Amy Rose. A year later, she would also join Baby No Money and crew as they cosplayed Sonic characters for charity. And I'm including this here because some of the Sonic social media team were there for this. Shout out Sydney and Katie. This brings us to 2026, where we've kind of reached a full circle moment. With the release of the Chaotix case files, Infinite and Gemerald would be recast by Alejandro Sab, who, on top of being an incredibly successful voice actor, is also the VTuber Sayu. Yes, Sega has gone from collaborating with VTubers to having a VTuber voice multiple of their in-game characters. If that ain't neat, I don't know what is. Sonic's relationship with VTubers alongside the VTubing medium is just so interesting. It feels like Sega was the first game company to truly explore the potential of this medium and to reap its benefits, with multiple successful collabs and ways to approach their social media. I hope they continue to collaborate with more VTubers in the future, especially the ones directly involved in the Sonic fandom, like Emsbury, Mimi Pion, Callie Mackin, and Aimee, just to name a few. I'm aware this was more of an overview of these collabs, but I want to know, what do you think in the comments below? Do you like Sonic collaborating with VTubers? What are your thoughts on TailsTube? And how many things did I get wrong or miss in general? I'd love to know. Thanks to my patrons who make videos like this possible, and you for watching. Okay, bye!